The Kremlin has said it's greatly concerned by Washington's decision to put thousands of US troops on alert because of fears of Russian aggression against Ukraine, accusing the United States of whipping up tensions. It comes after US President Joe Biden, the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson and other NATO leaders met via video link to talk about how to stop Russia invading Ukraine. Tension in the region has been building, with around 100,000 Russian troops gathered near Ukraine's borders. President Putin has publicly stated his belief that Russia and Ukraine are one people. He claims one of his key concerns is the expansion of Nato. That's the military alliance of European and North American countries. Many nations in Eastern Europe became members after the breakup of the Soviet Union. The Russian president's demand that Ukraine will never be allowed to join NATO has been rejected. Our World Affairs correspondent Caroline Hawley reports.
The might of the Russian army on display in its ally Belarus, Ukraine's northern neighbour. Joint military exercises are planned next month, as Moscow also builds up troops on Ukraine's eastern border. Some 100,000 soldiers in all, amid growing fears of a Russian invasion, of another war in Europe. Last night, Western leaders held virtual crisis talks.
Mr. Speaker, together with our allies, we are standing up to Russian aggression.
And the Foreign Secretary has just announced that she'll visit Ukraine next week.
A further military incursion by Russia into Ukraine would be a massive strategic mistake and come with a severe cost on Russia's economy, including coordinated sanctions.
The West is trying desperately to deter a Russian attack. This is a Danish frigate on its way to the Baltic Sea. Joe Biden insists Western leaders are unanimous about how to respond. He's placed 8,500 American troops on alert to deploy at short notice to Europe if they need to. The West is also threatening an unprecedented range of sanctions if President Putin does indeed give orders to invade.
We mustn't underestimate how serious he is. A sovereign and independent Ukraine is a direct affront to his ambitions as he sees them to restore Russia as a great power. Given the maximal nature of his demands, given that he's rejected the only reasonable compromise, it's hard for me to see how he can avoid having to follow through to some extent.
In the Ukrainian capital Kiev, there's a wary, uncertain calm. Some now quietly calculating what they'll do, how they'll keep their families safe if Russia does invade. Moscow insists it has no such plans and has accused the Americans of whipping up tensions by putting its troops on alert. But it's also made clear that diplomacy is not yet dead, leaving a glimmer of hope that a new conflict could still be averted. Caroline Hawley, BBC News.